Join me in learning more about some new capabilities with the Parcel Fabric at ArcGIS Pro 3.0, as well as reviewing some other Parcel Fabric related information today. All right, so a quick review of some past Parcel Fabric topics. Early on in this series, we talked about upgrading from ArcMap and then also migrating non-Parcel Fabric data into a Parcel Fabric. That led into record-driven and quality-driven workflows in ArcGIS Pro, as well as deploying the Parcel Fabric in an enterprise environment with branch versioning. Mapping subdivisions was a main topic at September's webinar and will be reviewed quickly today. Okay, so a few considerations with your software and database. Parcel Fabric in Pro requires either a standard or advanced license. A single user deployment, you will use a file geodatabase. An enterprise deployment, you'll use an enterprise geodatabase, which will match up with a Parcel Fabric version and a minimum Pro version and enterprise version as well. We'll look at that a little bit more in detail on the next slide. And also branch versioning is required for the enterprise environment. So with the ArcGIS Pro at 3.0, which I would say many of you are there or are looking to go to 3 based on the title of today's webinar. So you'll need to have either Enterprise 10.9.1 or 11.0, and the Parcel Fabric version will be version 5. The Parcel Fabric versions are not backwards compatible. It's a quick review of the Pro Parcel Fabric diagram. So the records are at the center of the data model. There are parcel types associated with the records, which consist of a line feature class and a polygon feature class. There's also points and connection line feature classes associated with the records. And then in the Parcel Fabric controlling data set, there is a topology along with parcel rules and error features. So some of the record-driven workflows that we previously talked about involved creating and managing records, creating parcels from a traverse, merging parcels, splitting parcels, and building parcels from CAD lines. On the quality side, we talked about some geodatabase topology, attribute rules, least squared adjustments, and then some new things that Esri's come up with in the past year: configured data quality layers and gap and overlap detection. So what are some new things, speaking of workflows? What are some new tools? What are some new elements of these workflows? Well, a few things that we'll talk about today are reconstructing from seeds, reconstructing boundaries, transferring parcels, and merging parcel points. This is not a full list of new capabilities, just some that I've picked out for today's webinar. So I will switch over to ArcGIS Pro now. We'll go through a demo of some of these tools. Okay, the first one is reconstruct from seeds. You can find the reconstruct from seeds tool in the tools gallery on the quality tab in ArcGIS Pro. This tool is usually used in conjunction with the shrink to seeds tool. to modify parcel lines and rebuild parcels. This tool works regardless of what records the lines are associated with. So the first thing that we want to do is to select the parcels with the lines that we want to modify. And then we'll click the Shrink to Seeds tool. So one note here is that you can select and shrink multiple parcels, including those from different parcel types that may overlap. I'm going to switch on my active record. And then from here, I'm going to add some lines to the map for how I want to modify this parcel. Okay, now we have one parcel seed here from the original, but we need to add a few more seeds. So I'm going to use the parcel seed tool to add a few parcel seeds. And then finally, we can click the Reconstruct from Seeds tool to build the parcels. The parcels are built from the parcel seeds that are enclosed by lines in the map extent. Okay, moving on to our next tool. And that is the Reconstruct Boundaries tool. This tool is also found in the Quality group of tools. It creates individual parcel lines for parcel edges and generates missing COGO dimensions. So some of the things that this tool can do, it creates the missing parcel lines for the parcel polygon edges. It splits lines with fewer than 7 segments at turning points and tangent points. It also removes duplicate and coincident overlapping lines. It populates COGO attributes such as direction and distance on parcel lines if they are missing. It sets the label position field on parcel lines to either left, right, or centered. And it associates newly created lines to the same record of the parcels for which they were created. So I am going to start out here by selecting some parcel polygons that are missing some dimensions. And then simply we just need to go into our tool set and go to our Reconstruct Boundaries tool. And when this tool completes running, we will be able to see some of the missing dimensions. Okay. On to the third tool, which we have for today, and that is the Transfer Parcels tool. A few examples of workflows for the Transfer Parcels tool include annexations, road dedication or road widening, and road vacation. Now, this tool is in the record on the record-driven side. So we will go in and create a record here. Okay, so we've got our active record, and now we will go into the Transfer Parcels tool up here in our tools gallery. Now with this tool, it opens up a wizard in which you can go through the different steps. So step 1 is selecting a parcel to transfer. Step 2, selecting source parcels. And step 3, selecting the target parcels. So I'm going to go back to my map and we will select this particular parcel. Moving on to step 2. I actually will need to select that again, and I'm going to select it from a parcel type that I have here called legal. So I have that selected. I'm going to go now to step 3. And the target parcel, I'm going to transfer, I want to transfer this parcel into my municipality. So with everything selected, I'm going to click on Finish. And the result now, it includes that parcel I had for the annexation, now includes that within my municipal boundary. And to complete this process, let's go ahead with this parcel as well. Step 2, I'm going to select my annexation parcel. And step 3, selecting the municipality. Final step to finish the process. And okay. The final new capability for today is merging parcel points. So this tool can be found in the Quality tab as well. All right, so we're going to open up the Merge Points tool. We want to make sure that allow removal of lines and polygons between merged points is checked. And we also want to have show preview checked as well. So I'm going to go into my map here and select a few of these parcel points. Okay, and you can see on the map that they are numbered. So these are the points that we want to merge. And our first step here within this tool, after we've selected them, is to determine which one we want to preserve and which we want to merge into that point. So in this case, we want point number 1 to, we want that point to be preserved. Also here, we can update any attributes in the merge point attributes. In this case, we'll just give it a generic name of northeast corner. If there are any other attributes here that you'd like to update, you can go ahead and do that. Once you are ready, you can click merge. And that tool will remove any dangling lines or sliver polygons. And it also corrects, it displays the correct COGO dimensions. Okay, I'm going to go back into the presentation. Okay, so what is coming in the near future from Esri for the Parcel Fabric? So they are talking about some offline parcel fabrics. If you had a case where you had poor network or poor connectivity, or if you have some field data collection workflows that might be associated with land records or the parcel fabric, they are looking at bringing that as a new capability. Another one is with predefined parcel layouts for tax mapping purposes. It could show a historic relationship, a parcel lineage. With that, you can also display certain information such as the line bearings or point information regarding that parcel. And then they've also talked about some 3D capabilities, potentially maybe for an urban environment, looking at parcels in the 3D space. Okay, now we'll just do a quick review of the mapping subdivision process. And let's see here. Need to move something around on my screen and then be able to go here. Okay. Step 1 with that mapping process is reviewing your subdivision plat and legal description. One question you might ask is, where do I begin? So you need to find out either on the plat or in the legal description where your point of beginning is and go from there. And then what is your strategy for mapping the subdivision? Are you more inclined to use the map or the legal description? How are you going to go about mapping the subdivision? What are the attributes that you need to look for from this subdivision plat? Okay, so the next step is creating a record. So go into creating the record for the subdivision, and the record is a feature class in the Parcel Fabric that's associated with the legal record. And you can enter in attributes into this, into the record, enter attributes from your subdivision plat, the surveying company, when it was surveyed, what is the accuracy that when it was recorded, that type of information can be entered in here into the record. Okay, next, you want to map out your subdivision, your lots, and your tax parcels. I would start out with your subdivision using the traverse tool. Enter the bearings and distances for your subdivision boundary. Then I would, once you have that, then you can create the parcel seed and build the parcel. The next step, you might want to consider creating your right-of-way, entering that in. Once you get your right-of-way in, then you can map your lots. So you can enter in your bearings and distances for lot lines, radius and arc length for curves, depending on what your subdivision plat contains. You can then divide your lines, enter in your points on off the right of way onto the and then to the subdivision boundary, and then draw in your lot lines. And then with that process, then with your lines done, you create your parcel seeds and build your parcels. So the general rule is creating your lines first, and then generating or building your parcel polygons from the lines. And then to wrap up the mapping subdivision part, just entering in your attributes and then the labeling on your map. So using your attribute pane, you can enter in the attributes you need for your parcels and your lots. A good tool to use here is the sequential numbering tool. This is good for numbering lots, where you would digitize in your map the order. Say you have a subdivision with lots 1 through 16, you would digitize starting with lot 1 and going to lot 16 to quickly and efficiently entering in those attributes into the lot polygon feature class. You can also use some tools to update the COGO dimensions, COGO attributes for the lines. Okay. So lastly, just have some resources for land records and Parcel Fabric information. Esri has a great training site. They also have a Parcel Fabric community, which contains a lot of good information. Parcel Fabric meetup, they have webinars throughout the year, a few times a year, on things related to the Parcel Fabric. And then we here at CloudPoint have some tutorials where we've done, going off of past webinars and videos and things like that. So please check out these links